In this video, I would like to introduce you to Network Chat Room, which is my final project for CS50, Harvard's Intro to Computer Science course. If you haven't heard of this, it's the gold standard in learning how to program. Harvard makes it available completely for free online, which is incredible. Basically, what this project is a AOL Instant Messenger-style uh, graphical user interface for chatting over a network. I also have created a companion repository that has boilerplate code for creating AI agents and putting them into the chat room with you so that you can chat with AI agents on your local little chat window. Now, before I continue, I do want to offer some acknowledgments first to this Chinese developer, username of Raihathi on GitHub, and his socket chat room project really was the inspiration for mine, and I learned a ton from this. I also want to acknowledge Cursor, which is one of the most widely used development tools out there right now. And inside of Cursor, I made heavy use of Claude, which is the AI model hosted by the company Anthropic, which I really like a lot. Okay, so with those preliminaries out of the way, let's talk about my project, which is this repository. It's titled Network Chat Room. You can find it on GitHub simply by going to the search bar and then searching for Network Chat Room. It'll come up under Chris Carroll Smith. That's my username. So I'm just going to hop down here to the instructions for running this thing. So the first thing that you'll do is clone the repository. Now, at this point, you are going to, if you're on Windows, go to the bottom of your screen, and in that search box, you're going to search for your terminal. And you're just going to paste that command into the terminal and run it, and it should create a clone of the GitHub repository. It'll copy all of those files onto a folder on your local machine. Okay, you're then going to use CD network chat room to enter that folder. And inside that folder, you're going to copy the .env example file to the .env file. Okay, this is where we store application secrets and configuration settings. And then finally, the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to run this poetry install command, and that's just going to install the project dependencies. Okay. Um, all right. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to repeat that process for the other repository. This is Network Chat Room. We're going to open up the Network Chat Room agent repository, which is a sister repository to this one. And we're going to repeat those same steps. Okay. I won't show you that on the video, but the instructions are there on that repository, so you can just follow those instructions as well. Okay, but when you're done, your terminal should look something like this. Make sure that you have the CD dot dot up at the top. Now we've got two separate folders, one network chat room and one network chat room agent. Before we can do anything else, we are going to need to edit one file inside the agent repository. Okay, we're going to type notepad.env if we're on Windows and we have access to the Notepad program. That is going to open up that file in Notepad. Okay, and this is what it looks like. This is our configuration for the AI agent that we're going to have join the chat room. You see this empty LLM provider API key field? So if you want to have an agent in your chat room with you, you're going to need to go get an OpenAI API key from the OpenAI website. You're going to have an account for that. You're going to have to generate an API key, and then you're going to have to paste the API key value into that field. All right. Okay, so now back inside of the network chat room folder, we are going to now enter a command that's going to create a Docker container that contains our server in it. Now, in order to do this, you're going to have to install Docker. Again, I've got a link inside my repositories that will take you to docker.com, to the instructions page for installing Docker if you don't already have Docker. Then inside that folder, you are going to run docker compose up server dash dash build. Okay. Okay, and we can confirm that by opening up the Docker window from the task manager down in the lower right-hand corner if you're on Windows. And you will see the network chat room service. We can also see under status, it says running. Okay, so back in Git Bash, I'm going to open that network chat room agent folder, and then I'm going to type Docker compose dash P. We're going to give it the same group name as that other service that was just created so that it ends up in the same group as that service. That's what this P flag does. And then we're going to say up dash D, and this is going to create our agent container. Okay. And then we can do the same thing. We can go back into the Docker window and confirm that, in fact, yes, that agent service is there. It exists. It's got a green icon. It's running successfully. Okay. Now, those services are just going to run constantly in the background with Docker, and that's great. Unfortunately, we can't do that with the client service because the client has a graphical user interface, and you can't really easily run a graphical user interface inside of Docker. It just doesn't support it very well, at least not out of the box. So, to avoid any additional configuration of Docker, we're just going to run the client from this network chat room folder on our local, what we call local host. Okay. When I run that command, it's going to open this window for logging in, for entering our username and password. We can just put in a username and password and then hit the register button to create an account. So let's go ahead and do that. I get a little notification that registration is successful and I can now log in. I'm going to hit OK on that. And then I can just go ahead and hit the login button. And now I see this cool little chat interface. And I'm just going to say, I see that a user named Clippy is logged in. I'm just going to say, hi, Clippy. I'd like to get some work done today. Want to help? And Clippy replies, absolutely, James. Let's crush today and make some serious progress. What's on the agenda? Muscle emoji, fire emoji. So, okay, this has connected us to an OpenAI LLM. The LLM simply has instructions to keep its messages very short, appropriate for a chat interface, and to be encouraging with respect to productivity. So I now can have these chats with my AI assistant Clippy. If I wanted to, I could go into that network chat room agent repo and I could define some additional logic. I could connect my AI assistant to tools and I could give it some other prompts and enable it to do more complex work using chain prompts and so forth. I leave that as an exercise to the user, but for right now, at least just out of the box, this is capable of having cute chats with you about your productivity and hopefully can be a useful tool for you to give you a little encouragement day to day to help get some work done.